Think about the greatest footballers you admire. What separates them from everyone else? It's not just their talent, it's their ability to turn ambition into action and action into results. But here's the question for you. Do you have a plan in place to do the same? Because if you don't, 2025 will look no different from 2024. But today, I'll show you how to change that. In this video, I'll take you through the 3P framework, a step-by-step system to help you build a plan, stay on track, and rise to the next level. If this is the first video in the series you're watching, then welcome. These exercises will still transform how you approach your football journey. And if you've already completed the 3R framework exercises from the first video, you're about to take things to a whole new level. Here's what we'll cover. First, we'll prepare by setting SMART goals that will give you a crystal clear vision for 2025. Secondly, we'll plan by organizing our training into a calendar that will help us stay consistent and focused. And finally, we'll work on performance, setting up a simple progress tracker to track your progress and to be able to notice if you're on the right way, and if not, be able to make adjustments along the way. By the end of this video, you will have a plan and a system in place to rise above the competition and start seeing real results. So whether you're starting here or whether you're building from what you've learned in the previous video, this is the next step to make 2025 your breakthrough year. Let's dive in. 3P framework. Prepare. In the last exercise from the previous video, where we went through the 3R framework, we focus on setting goals for 2025 for the short term, the midterm, and the long term. These goals will help us stay motivated and help guide us in a direction where we stay on the path that we have laid out in front of us. But even though these goals are great, they still don't tell us what we need to do on a daily basis to actually start seeing results. What actions we need to take to actually realize those goals. That is where this next exercise comes in, and now we're going to set something that is called SMART goals. As with the previous video, you will find a folder with all the exercises that we will do today within a link in the description where you can download them and print them out if you want to. Now, what you will do is you will have a look at the goals you set for 2025, and then we'll break those goals down into each respective letter of the SMART goals. S stands for specific, and that means that we're trying to really nail down and be specific and detailed with what it is that we want to achieve. The more clear our goal is, the easier it will be to focus on the right things instead of wandering off in a direction that won't help us. M stands for measurable, and that means that we want to try to find a way to measure progress on our goal to see if we're getting closer or not. If not, we then know that we should make some form of change to our plan. A stands for achievable, and this means that the goal should be achievable when looking at our current situation. This doesn't mean that any goal is too big or out of reach, but more so, what can we do about it right now in this moment in time with the resources we have to get ourselves closer to the end goal. R stands for relevant, and this looks at whether the goals we set for 2025 is relevant for the longer term. For example, if your goal for 2025 is to move up a level to a better team or to an academy team, and your ultimate goal is to sign a pro contract, then yes, those 2025 goals are relevant for you to get closer to your ultimate goal. And T stands for time bound. This you have already done in the previous exercise, and it means that you set a deadline for the goals, which creates a sense of urgency and makes it more likely that you take action because you can actually see the finish line in front of you. If we take my short-term goal as an example, I wanted to take advantage of a time without team football to fully focus on building myself up physically, mentally, tactically, and technically. What would that goal look like after we have transformed it into a SMART goal? If you completed the football wheel exercise from the previous video, you should already have a good idea of what you need to improve as a footballer and what your current strengths are. And if you haven't, I highly recommend you to go through with the football wheel exercise because it will help you to see which qualities you need to improve the most as a footballer at this moment in time. For the first 3 months of 2025, I want to focus on building myself up across all key pillars of the game. And because I've already completed the football wheel, I already have the specific areas which I need to improve, which I can then write in the S column. Measurable. This one is tricky because when it comes to measurable, I'm not always too sure that you should worry too much about it. It can be nice to have some sort of idea if you're making any progress on your goal, but from what I've learned from pursuing a football career for the past 20 years is that when we try too hard to focus on analyzing and measuring every single thing that we do, we tend to lose focus from the most important thing, which is action. For example, if you want to, you can of course track your progress, like if you manage to lift heavy weights in the gym, if your passing accuracy improves and all that. But I'd say it's more important to focus on the day-to-day and actually taking action and getting the work in. Achievable. Is my goal achievable? Yes, because I have the necessary resources like pitches, gyms, mentors, equipment, and everything that I need to be able to make that goal come true. Relevant. Is my goal relevant? Yes, because it aligns with my long-term vision to improve as a footballer, to join a team in Europe, and to play abroad. Time-bound. Is my goal time-bound? Yes, from the previous exercise we have already outlined a time frame for these goals. So within the first 3 months of 2025, I know what my goal is and I know what I will focus on. Goals are important to establish a direction of where we want to go, but the absolute most important thing, as I always emphasize in my videos, is to take action. And that is what the next exercise will be all about. 3P framework. Plan. This is also one of the favorite exercises on my channel, and in reality, it's just a simple calendar exercise. What we want to do here is simply fill in what a current day in our lives currently look like. The reason for doing this is that we want to locate the empty time slots within our days that we can actually fit in our training. This will make it a lot easier to see how much time we can actually dedicate to our development. And also it allows us to not be too hard on ourselves because we're thinking that we're not doing enough. Because if you have filled the empty slots with training and other football related activities into your calendar, you're doing everything that you can. You can't create more time, you can only choose what you do with the time you have. However, when doing this exercise, you may also notice that you're currently spending time on certain activities that may not help you in your football development. Things that you don't really have to do. It can be things such as scrolling TikTok for an hour, when in reality you could have used that hour to get better as a footballer. So this calendar exercise makes you more aware of how you're currently spending your time and how you can then be more intentional with your time going forward. Then what you do is simply fill in the slots where you can fit in activities related to your football development. Then, right in front of you, you now have an action plan. A plan that will then allow you to head into 2025 knowing that you take advantage of the time you have to realize your full potential. 3P framework. Perform. Finally, we arrive at the final exercise of the 3P framework, the progress tracker. This is a simple paper split into different columns including date, session type, duration, rating, and notes. Once you have performed a session, you can put that into the progress tracker, and then over time, as you perform more and more sessions, you will start to see patterns. Maybe you notice that you will always rate yourself lower in certain sessions. Every Monday, for example, you always seem to rate yourself lower. Could that be a sign that maybe you're not recovering properly during the weekend? Or is there anything else in play? The more you fill in the progress tracker, the more you will learn about yourself and your situation and what you need to change to keep on improving. The ultimate goal of the 3 exercises in the 3P framework is to create awareness. For you to become aware of your 2025 goals, if they are good goals, how you can make them smart, and if they actually align with your long-term dreams. For you to become aware of how you're currently spending your time and how you can change that to elevate your performance to even higher levels. And for you to become aware of that what you're currently doing is actually working. And if not, you will be aware of that as well, and you will know that you have to change something. If you have completed the exercises from the 3R framework from the previous video, and now the exercises from the 3P framework in this video, you're getting closer and closer to the finish line where you will be ready to head into 2025, ready to achieve that transformation that you want as a footballer. However, there's one final step left, and that is to watch the final video that I will release in just 2 days' time, where I go through the final 3 exercises that will help you realize your football dreams in 2025. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want you to comment the word RISE together with your biggest key takeaway from this video, and I know which players will be ready for the next video dropping on December 30th. That's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you in 2 days with the final video of the year. Bye.